Very good afternoon from Margadarshak Center for Agribusiness Development, Pune. Myself, Sachin Zagde. Today, we are going to discuss the topic Cold Chain Scheme by Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Government of India. We have chosen to discuss various agribusiness updates every week. So, we have the topic Cold Chain Scheme for the week 4, April 2022. And we shall have various agribusiness updates presented to you all every week. Now let us continue with the discussion of cold chain scheme, that is by Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Government of India. So there we will discuss three basic components. First, the grant structure. Second, eligible organizations. And third, eligibility conditions. So starting with the grant structure that exists under the cold chain scheme. So here we have two types of infrastructures, and then the grant also varies with the type of infrastructure. So the first infrastructure is storage. Let us say we have the startup or a cold storage that is being put up in a general areas as per the guidelines of industrial development corporations. So if we have a cold storage in general areas, then we can expect 35% grant against the total project cost. And if we have a cold storage infrastructure that is being put up in northeast, hilly, and difficult areas, we may expect 50% grant against the total project cost. Now moving on to the point number 2. If we have food processing infrastructure under the cold chain, so where we can have various types of products processed in the facility, like frozen fruit and vegetable pulps, frozen non-vegetarian products like frozen chicken and meat, frozen fruits and vegetables. And if we put up an infrastructure in general areas, then we can expect the grant of 50% against the total project cost. And if the infrastructure is being put up in northeast, hilly and difficult areas, then we are eligible for 75% grant against the total project cost. And the grant that can be expected for a project is 10 crore rupees. Now moving on to the eligible organizations. Which organizations are eligible under the cold chain scheme? So there we can have central and state public sector undertakings, farmer producer organizations, NGOs, cooperatives, self-help groups, corporate entity, and proprietorship firm. So these are the organizations which are eligible for cold chain scheme. Now we are moving on to the eligibility conditions. So let's say if we have a startup having the promoters from SC and ST categories with 100% stakes, then it will be paid at par with the northeastern benefits. And if we have the promoters from other categories, we can expect the benefits in line with the previous slide. combined net worth of promoters should not be less than 1.5 times of the grant that we are expecting out of the project. The further eligibility condition is the term loan that we are seeking for the project should be at least 20% of the total project cost. Now we are continuing with the eligibility conditions. Now to make our project eligible under the cold chain scheme, we have to make sure that the farm level infrastructure mentioned in serial number 1 exists in our project because it is mandatory. And then any one or both components out of serial number 2 and serial number 3 need to be set up. So if we look at the farm level infrastructure that is considered over here, so it talks about integrated pack house with facility for weighment, sorting, grading, packing, and waxing. The farm level infrastructure can also have the pre-cooling units. It can have cold storage, IQF processing line, and controlled atmosphere storage. So we can have one or multiple of these infrastructures. Now we are moving on to the serial number 2, which talks about the distribution hub. So below we have mentioned the various components that can be considered under the distribution hub. A hub with multi-temperature, multi-product. A hub can have cold storage. A hub can also consider to have controlled atmosphere storage, variable humidity chambers, packing facility, CIP, fog treatment. IQF processing line is also eligible under the distribution hub. Blast freezing activity can also be considered under the distribution hub. And the third serial number talks about a reefer transport, where we have reefer vehicles used for transportation. So which talks about mobile pre-cooler and reefer trucks, insulated tankers which are suitable for transportation of perishable agricultural commodities, horticulture, dairy, meat, and fish produce. So that is it for the day under the topic cold chain scheme from Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Government of India. See you all next time. Till then, good day and goodbye. Thank you.